So you may remember my book, Unbounded from Sorrow to Summit. And I published it nearly 3 years ago. And I've just finished the audio version. I'm like, if you don't want to read my book, then forget it, okay? Because there's pictures, and who doesn't want pictures? But Amazon said to me, most of our books now are audio. You're missing out. And I don't want people to miss out on my book. So I've just finished recording the audio and we'll be publishing that. And I'll be letting you know very, very soon. So be sure and hit the subscribe button so you can take advantage of being the first to be notified and that you can always be up to date on my episodes rather than waiting for me to post them on my social media or something. You're like, oh, you'll get a little text message that says, Mary's next episode is ready. So please hit the subscribe now. Welcome back to Crafting a Meaningful Life. I'm so excited every single week that I get to come to you and that we get to talk about things that allow us to craft our own meaningful life, to walk our own path. And to that end this day, I have a guest who is like eons younger than I am. And really, we have nothing in common. And yet, she is a soul sister because both of us are crafting our meaningful lives, and both of us are involved in helping others craft theirs. So to that end, please welcome with me, Carolynn Williams. Welcome, Carolyn.
Oh, Mary, thank you so much for having me. I am honored to be here with you.
Okay, did you just see her bubbly face? I mean, like, are we not kindred spirits?
I know, I'm so glad that our guides brought us together, and it's like, listen, you need to know Mary. And I'm like, done.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's start with that. How was it that we happened to become connected?
We actually met at a Boulder Way Forward back in June. And Cynthia Gamble looked at me and she said, you need to know Mary Crafts. And I said, perfect. I've heard amazing things about her. And now I actually get to meet her in person. Excuse me. Yes, I'm going to go and just, squeeze my way in because there was like a reception line for you. Okay. Well, I'm cutting the line. I'm cutting the line. I don't even care. And then you just scooped me up and I scooped you up and here we are.
There are those moments when you turn to look at someone and the eyes connect and immediately this person is meant to be in my life, and I'm meant to be in hers. And that's how it was. We just instantly knew this connection was there. And I think that is because we are about lifting ourselves to be our very best and lifting others to be theirs. And we have that in common.
Amen. Mediocrity is not the new standard of excellence, my friends. And
yeah. If you're into being... Hey, we should say that right now. If you're into being mediocre, you should turn this off now.
This isn't for you, I pinky promise. This is not for you.
Pinky promise. All right, so then you reached out to me and you said, should we do a walk and talk? Well, little did you know that my walk and talks are my favorite thing to do with people. Rather than sit there, you have to order food and this and that, and you're worried about who's paying and this and that. I love being outdoors. I love walking with people and having time. So you created this time for us to go to Thanksgiving Point, to the gardens, and you had your little baby with you. It was so cute in the stroller. And it was just a beautiful time to be outdoors and share with you. And I was even more in love with you then, Carolyn. So thank you for just being who you are.
Likewise, sister. It is one of those beautiful things that when we get to walk and talk and enjoy the scenery, it's just miracles happen. And you were like showing me how to do some yoga meditation, like walking meditations, and talked about your spiritual journey, talked about so many different beautiful life lessons that I genuinely cherish, because I wish that more people took the time to connect with people in different phases of life. Because if someone can guide me like, hey, Carolyn, if you just move 2 degrees to the left, you're going to miss a lot of icebergs in your way. Perfect. That's what I needed. That's who I want to associate with. Of like, Carolyn, I see you. Let's shift a little this way, and your life is going to be so much better because I've already walked that path. You don't have to face plant it like so many other people have.
I love that concept because sometimes when people think about change, they think about take my life and throw it over here into this area that I have no idea where I'm going. And what you said about it's only a degree change. This is where you are. You're in a good place. If you were just to shift 1 degree here, you could avoid this iceberg and that big one that sunk the Titanic. You wouldn't have to deal with that one at all. It's minute changes that we can make in our life. That's brilliant. I love that analogy. Wow.
It really is so important. And the thing is that you have the life experience that I don't. And so having you
Oh, yeah,
in
let's
my
talk
life,
about how old I am. Fine.
no, you've got the wisdom. You've got all of these beautiful life experiences that can really elevate. And it doesn't matter the age difference. It's the fact that you've lived a full, rich life intentionally. And it's like, how do I do that too? What do I want that to look like? And it's just boop, 1 degree, 2 degrees. That's all you need. It doesn't have to be a full 180, but when you do those consistent 1 degree shifts throughout your life, it's going to be so much more intentional and so much more meaningful.
So much more intentional. Absolutely. So I was drawn to you because you're doing these wellness summits. But before we talk about that, the first question I asked you was, so tell me about yourself, because I knew zero about you. And what happened in your life that brought you to this point? And your vision is now over there. But I want to know, what was the rest of this that brought you to here? So share that with my listeners.
I would love to. So my background is in communication and human resources. So I was in the corporate world doing learning and development. And then I decided to branch out and do my own communication consulting. And that was a blast. I loved it. And in Utah, I was considered like an old fart, if you will, because I'm in my 30s. I'm not married. And then all of a sudden, my Prince Charming came along and I was like, perfect. He is the one. 10 out of 10, creme de la creme. And then, so we got married in our 30s, and then I had our first kid 13 months ago, and that shifted everything. Everything shifted. Cerebrally, I understood that pregnancy and childbirth were hard and postpartum was tricky, but I didn't realize to the depth and breadth that I would personally experience postpartum. I'm usually a very happy-go-lucky person. Glass half full, glass half empty. I was like, forget that. I'm just stoked for the glass. And I found myself inverted, where I was so upset about things and my hormones were everywhere. So I started chatting with some women and they just said, buckle up, buttercup. It's going to get more intense. And I said, 2 thumbs way, way down to that message. We don't have to do this. There's too many women who are gifted, talented, connected, just vivacious, wanting to lift and elevate women. And so I started on this journey of creating a women's wellness summit where it's all about amplifying women's voices, impact, and influence by creating a centralized location for women to come and actually experience wellness. Not getting talked at, not getting told what you should or should not do. You get to come try it on for yourself. If you want to try yoga, pelvic floor health, financial planning, interior design, art therapy, we just have a myriad of different options for women to come every 6 months and reevaluate their wellness and invest in themselves. Because I genuinely believe when women are well from the inside out, every single person benefits. Our children benefit, our communities benefit, our schools are healthier and happier. The ripple effect cannot be understated. And I didn't realize that until I got in the arena and I was just getting obliterated in there. And so these women came and just rallied around me and said, let's do this. And I said, thank you. I can't do another postpartum like this. This is terrible. And then miracles happened left, right, and center. And here we are with our inaugural event November 16th.
Coming right up. Oh my gosh,
Coming
girl.
right up.
So for you, what does the definition of wellness mean? How does a woman decide or know if she's well?
That's a great question. I think it depends on every person's personality, but for me personally, if I feel like I can give and see other people and genuinely want to lift others, I feel like I'm well. I feel like I can give because my cup is full. I'm not on this chronic burnout, chronic empty cup status, because if you don't take care of yourself, how are you supposed to take care of other people? And if we have chronically burnt out moms, how are our children supposed to get the best of us? How are our children supposed to be happy and thriving when we're chronically surviving? Like, I want to live. I want to thrive. I want to feel like I can go physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, socially, financially, occupationally to my fullest. And of course, those are going to fluctuate. Of course, that's going to happen. But what do I need during these next 6 months to make me feel like I can elevate myself, that I can elevate women, that I can elevate my partner, that I can help other people along their journey? How can I serve and lift them? Yeah. That to me is what wellness is when I can look beyond my own circumstances and recognize that I can only control what I can control and let the cookies fall where they may. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
It is going to be okay. I got a text message from my daughter this morning that said, Mom, I just feel like I need to apologize to you for like being not patient with you this week and for like being short with you when you would say something to me. And I responded back to her, darling, I wasn't impatient with you. I didn't have any problem with where you were because I was patient with me. When I'm not patient with someone else, it's because I'm not patient with me. And that I am out of sorts and I'm like, come on, get this, or don't say that, blah, blah. When I'm focused on someone else, then it's really just about me. And the same thing is true with wellness for me. Mm-hmm. When I become well, the natural outgrowth of that is helping others become well. And for me, that's how I know if I'm being well a certain day or not. Like you and I were just at this event, a 40 over 40. Mm-hmm. There were probably 350 people in that room. Only 40 of them were being honored. But it didn't matter who those 40 were. Did you notice? In the reception area, afterwards, in the meeting, in the greeting, someone didn't say, oh, I'm sorry, are you one of the awardees? Oh, I'm sorry, you're not. Okay, next person. I mean, we were just all excited to celebrate and be there with each other and to celebrate each other in that well space. And if I'm not well, then I don't want others to be well either. Because that makes me less than. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so I nitpick at them, or I roll my eyes at them, or I have the pretty face on, but inside I'm thinking, oh, she's such a witch, whatever it is. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
But when I am well, all I see are well. And if they're not, then I want them to be well. I don't think, I get to be well and you don't. That's such a sick place to be. And I think that's how we know when we're well, is we want well for us and well for everyone else.
Yes. And there's often times where, that applies to other people, but not to me. And that is the biggest load of malarkey I've ever heard. Like, why would that apply to everybody else except you? Who came up with that? That's ludicrous. You need to be well yourself. Yeah. You need to invest in your wellness, whatever that looks like, because your resources inevitably fluctuate. You don't get a full night's rest. You're physically and mentally and emotionally going to have a different resource the following day. So how can you calibrate to that? What does that look like and feel like? What reinforcements do you need to bring in? Do you need to get a babysitter? Do you need to go for a walk? What is it that you need? And how can we elevate that to the next level so that you're aware.
Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons why I love what you're doing with your Wellness Summit. Because there are probably the majority of my days at this point in my life, certainly not before, but at this point, where I feel well, physically, emotionally, mentally, but it's not every day. There are those days when I feel still less than. There are those days that I could use someone supporting me over here. And so when you do this Wellness Summit, and when you open it up for women to come and fill their buckets, it doesn't matter how big and full their bucket already is. There's something called evaporation, where we lose some of it, and we need to make sure we're continuing to fill up the bucket. And to that end, I love what you're doing with these wellness summits. They're not necessarily for sick women. They are for women who just want to keep the buckets as full as they can.
As full as they can. And I mean, if you're coming with an empty bucket, I love that for you. Way to be courageous and step into a space that's going to allow you to experience these different opportunities. If you have a full bucket, I love that for you. Come share your bucket with other women, because the toughest battles we'll ever face are going to be within the silent chambers of our own souls. Yeah. There are people walking around
absolutely.
With a lot of heartache and a lot of unknowns. And so how is it that we're going to elevate women regardless of what smile they put on that day? There's a battle behind that smile. What is that battle? How can we mend and love and lift instead of tear down and judge and criticize? That's not what the summit's about. The summit is all about women elevating each other, loving each other exactly where we are, whatever phase we may be in, whether you're an empty nester, whether you're a new mom, recent college graduate, recently divorced, newly married, anywhere in between, it doesn't matter. Women coming together to support each other throughout all of the journeys of womanhood is so important. And I mean, prime example, here we are, Mary. Like, we have very different life experiences right now.
Right? I mean, serious.
Yeah. We've got very different life experiences. And that's the point. It's like creating that community where it's like, hey, Mary, like, can I talk to you about teething? Can I talk to you about how do you navigate a career in motherhood? How do you do this? And so it's a beautiful space for women to really rally around each other, regardless of where you're at in your womanhood journey.
So we've talked and alluded a lot to the Wellness Summit. Mm-hmm. We're going to include a link at the end of this podcast where they can actually find out and about your website and then sign up for the Wellness Summit. So that will be there. If you're watching this podcast after the Wellness Summit, the first one, you can still follow the same website and the same link to sign up for the next one in 6 months. So it has an evergreen product to it that you can continue to take care of. But what I want you to share with us, Carolyn, is what is going to happen at the Wellness Summit. I want to dispel all fear. I want to embrace what you are offering and the gifts that you have for every woman. So go, girl.
I love it. I love it. Listen, this is what I'm passionate about, so I get super fired up about it. You come to UVU in the fall, and you will be welcomed by our volunteers. There's going to be an expo center so that you can go meet and greet the different vendors who are going to be presenting and showcasing their products. Every single vendor is going to provide you with an experience. It's not a talked at situation. You are going to actually experience how to have a healthier pelvic floor. You're going to understand more about perimenopause and menopause. You're going to understand how to harmonize your hormones and what that looks like. There may be taste testers there. There may be opportunities to understand how to decorate your house better with interior design help. There's going to be financial planners there. There's estate planners. So you're coming to immerse yourself in a way that has never been done before in the wellness space, where we are bringing together 8 dimensions of wellness. And you get to choose from over 40 breakout sessions throughout the day. You get to pick your adventure. You get to choose
40 breakout sessions. That's a lot.
It is. It's amazing. Like the demand from these vendors are like, how do I get on? How do I get on board with this? What does this look like? What does this feel like? And we have a wait list for April, which is crazy. And I'm so
Yeah.
grateful also because I don't have the skills and talents that these other women do. But what I can do is I can say, hey, come have a good time. Come hang out. Come learn. Come grow. Come experience a sound bath. Come experience interior design. Come experience art therapy. Come learn how to do a podcast. Whatever it is, you can come and learn and be with women who are there to envelop you and to hold you and to love you. You get to hear from a few speakers. We have Becky Pickle, who is the CEO of the
Oh, I
Home
love Becky.
Isn't she a sugar? My word.
Yeah.
My word. What
Yeah.
a gem. So she's going to be one of our opening keynote speakers. Lisa Valentine Clark is also going to be there. She's an actress and comedian. And then we get to have those breakout sessions for a few hours. And then at the end of the day, you get to come back and we're going to have a few more speakers, door prizes, giveaways, letting you know hopefully where our next venue will be in April, because we already have a wait list and we just need to find space. It's just amazing. So you are going to come and just be enveloped by people who want to love you along your journey, regardless of where you're at.
And one of the things I love about this is a 1-day event, correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one thing I love about this is you don't have to worry about what am I going to do overnight. I can't be gone, blah, blah, blah. Then there is like, is there something for me? Well, both of those questions are dispersed. Okay. Is it too far for me? Well, if you live out of state, it may be a long ways for you. We'll help find you one in your state. But if you're anywhere in Utah, I mean, UVU, Utah Valley University, is right smack kind of in the middle of our population hub, and you can come. The parking is easy, and there's so many pluses here, including the cost. A full day event with all of those things. Tell us about how people would sign up and the cost of this.
It's a sliding scale. And so if you want to have general admission, that's $69. That gets you into everything. It's a first come, first serve for the breakout sessions. And then those people who would like to have lunch, a box lunch added onto that, it'll be another $10. And then those people who are wanting to have a VIP experience where you're going to meet the speakers, have lunch with the speakers, have your own line, reserve seating in all of the breakout sessions and whatnot, then you will need to pay about $149 for that. So it's a sliding scale just based off of like where you're at with your finances. The point is investing in your wellness and being able to sample all of these different breakout sessions based off of what you need and what you're curious about, what your family may be interested in. You get to come do that in one place. If that reduces travel, cost of hotels. Although for those people who are traveling from farther distances, we did break a deal with a hotel that's right across the street from UVU. So you are absolutely welcome to use that. And that's in the sign up forms in the Eventbrite page that we have. You can look at all of the breakout sessions every single hour at the Eventbrite page, and you can see what is going to be available to you every single hour. We have between 9 and 10 breakouts every single hour. You will not be bored. You will not leave thinking, gosh, this was such a waste of time. It's like, holy smokies, when can we come again? Like, let's do this.
All right. I mean, just to come and listen to you all day, I'd be psyched about that because you are like, 112% of energy and light. That's just you. And I know that what you have put together for people is the same. It's just the brightest lights that you could find in 40 topics to lift. And on social media now, you see like a sound bath all the time or a drum circle. Or you see about different things and you might think, what the heck is that? And what would that be like? Well, it's included. If you want to know, just head right on over there. If you want to talk to someone who has a book or wants to do a podcast, oh no, don't talk to them about that. No. Because there's plenty of room in this podcast world different people speak to different people. I don't speak to everyone. Some people listen to me and like click buzz, don't want to listen to her anymore. You know what I mean? So if you need a platform and you have a voice and something to say, what a better place to learn about it than right here. And for $69, are you kidding me? Nobody offers a full day conference for nobody. I've never seen one. Well, maybe back when, in 1980. But not now.
Well, and that's the point. We want to make it approachable. If you think about it, if you go to 5 of these breakout sessions, there's no way you would get even 2 of those for $69. I mean,
right.
There's no chance. There's no way. And that's the point, is because I know that women have financial differences in their flow and how that works and how they work it out with their spouses. Doesn't matter. The point is that you can tuck away $69 to come every 6 months, because our vendors are inevitably going to be different. And ultimately, Mary, what we want this to become is the Comic-Con of women's wellness. One day, we will rent out that Salt Palace and have it be a multiple day event, and people will come from all over, and it'll just be an absolute blast to have everybody there going and experiencing wellness in a way that has never been done before.
Okay, so now share with me, what has the wellness journey meant to you personally?
It has taught me a humility. It has taught me that I need to ask for help. I need to say, I'm not okay. I need to say, I need help. I need support. I need something different. And God bless my husband, because he has been unbelievably supportive in all the phases of this hormonal evolution. And I remember telling him one time, I'm like, I think I need to get medical help. I think I need more than what we have right now. And it was so nice to hear, like, I think you're right. I know that you've been off for a while, and I think it's important to get you the help that you need. So going from a dark place to then getting professional medical help to now building something where women don't have to feel alone. They don't need to feel scared to say, I need help. I need something different. I need support. I need a community. Whatever it is, there are women who will be there who understand you. There are women who will scoop you up and love you and say, I've been there too. Let's get through this together. And not being alone through that process is one of the best gifts I could possibly give someone, of like, you don't have to face this alone. You don't have to do this like you're some Herculean Titan. You are strong even when you need help. You are enough even when you need support. You are absolutely stunning in every way, even in the mess of it all. It's okay. Come here, come gather, come find your sisters, and we can do this together. So that's what has really meant a lot to me, is being able to understand the contrast of what it was like to be on the other side of wellness, where it was just a dark and dreary experience for me. And then coming out of that, realizing there are so many women who are suffering in silence, and I'm not okay with that. My friends, my fellow neighbors, we don't have to do that anymore. We are in 2024, my friends. We can do better. And there's so many women like you, Mary, who have trailblazed a new tomorrow. And my generation, it's time for us to bulldoze. It's time. And so here we are. And I'm linking arms with those trailblazers. And I'm like, let's bulldoze, ladies. Let's go. So it's exciting to be on the other side, understanding that that contrast was so important for me to understand.
Now, we've talked about excitement. We've talked about journey. We've talked about all the things you're doing at the wellness. We talked about what it meant to you personally, how you got here. So this one is the last topic I want to talk about. There are those women who will be listening to this, and they will be thinking, I wish I had what it took to do that. I'm not Mary, and I'm not this firecracker, Carolynn Williams. I know I need help, but I'm going to show up there and I won't know anyone. I'm going to show up there and once again, I would sit by myself like I'm so used to doing. And once again, I'm going to pretend that I'm okay when inside I'm not. How do we speak to those women that says there is a place for you here?
I mean, the fact that women are willing to show up in the discomfort is one of the most beautiful, stunning characteristics I could possibly think of. Because when you are going into an arena that you don't feel comfortable, that you know you're not well, that you know you're flying solo, there are going to be women there, very, very lovely women who are volunteering, who are part of my team, who I know are already ticket holders. There are people there ready to scoop you up. You just need to show up and say, hey, I need help. We can even have a code word. You can say Harry Potter to me or whatever, or Twinkle Toes. Let's use Twinkle Toes. I like that. Just come up to me and say Twinkle Toes. And I'll be like, done. I'm going to find you a friend and you're going to be set to jet. They're going to scoop you up. They're going to love you and they're going to help you during the day. Just come up to me or anyone on my volunteer staff, and that's the code word, Twinkle Toes. I need help. I need a friend. I need a buddy. Done. I am so good at finding you buddies.
Yes, you are.
You just get your lovely soul there, and we will lift and love you in the best ways we can.
So that would be, now the women who are going to go, who have listened to this podcast, are going to know that word, Twinkle Toes, if they need it. There are a lot probably, of women who may attend who don't know the code word. So my thought for you is this is a piece of training for your volunteers. They need to look with those eyes. They need to be scanning as people come in. They need to see those people who are not going to speak up and embrace them and bring them in. Those volunteers are there because they have those kinds of hearts.
Yes.
But sometimes they don't always see themselves as that's their role. Sometimes we are insecure enough that we feel uncomfortable walking up to somebody and saying, hi, what's your name? And can I sit by you? Or do you know so-and-so? Or what? Tell me what has motivated you to come here today. I'm so excited to have you. To engage them in those kind of conversations that allow them to immediately feel connected. Because if people walk into a large room and they don't know someone, they're just sitting in the back and they've not connected. And your volunteers can be so much a part of that. Now, for the most part, you probably got 90% of your people showing up and they're like gangbusters. They're mirrors of you. Okay, that's good. But you have those who want so desperately to be there, and those are the women whose hearts I see.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Our shared humanity is something that is so important to recognize. I am an extrovert, and even going to the 40 over 40, I walked in and I felt so overwhelmed. And I thought, holy cow, I am way out of my league. These people are unreal. And so I actually walked out. I walked out and I said, Carolyn Gale, you pull it together. You have got this. You just go make some new friends. You're going to be okay. And just go rock and roll. So I had to actually leave myself because I was like, these people are insanely talented. They're so incredible. And I just got this imposter syndrome of why am I even here? This is nuts. And I had to walk out. And that's even someone who's pretty extroverted. And so it comes in different waves, and it's okay to feel uncomfortable and to maybe take a step out and then just be like, give yourself a pep talk. You belong here. Everybody who is coming to this wellness summit is coming because they want something, because they need something, because they want to help, or because they need help. So it's the shared humanity that we have to recognize. And once I realized the shared humanity in that 40 over 40 room, I was like, we're here to celebrate. We're here to love. We're here to lift. You can do that, Carolyn. And I was like, yeah, I can. I can totally do that. But it took me a minute to get into the groove. And it's okay if you need to take a step out and take a breath and then get back in the arena. It's okay.
Yeah. You know, Carolyn, I so appreciate that vulnerability. I so appreciate your open heart and your willingness to say, hey, I'm in the bucket too with you. You know, I'm not out of the bucket. I'm in the bucket, you know. And even me. I mean, I was one of the awardees. And yet there was that moment when I'm walking down the hall. John was with me. I'd invited people for my table. But I thought, I probably don't belong here. I'm probably too old for this group. You know, they're 40 over 40s. I should be in the 7 over 70. You know, maybe no one, it will matter. And so I walked by a couple groups of people. And John said, those women, did you see they were like looking at you like they wanted to talk to you? And I go, they did? And he said, yeah. He said, Mary, you don't realize people are wanting to talk to you. You don't have to be worried about trying to find someone to talk to. Mm-hmm. That was 2 days ago.
Isn't that nuts?
And suddenly I was able to just take that breath and go, I got this. I got this. Mm-hmm. So it is a pep talk. It is being able to step into our light. It is every day choosing my very best self, my very best life. It doesn't benefit anyone, my friends, my colleagues, John, my family, and especially me, if I play small. And
we were never meant to play small, ever.
Yeah. Carolyn, thank you for being with us today and coming on and talking about stepping into the light of being well. And this absolute amazing wellness summit that you are giving to people, almost like a gift. I don't even know how you're covering any of your costs with this, but $69. But I would encourage everyone to go on to look at the link at the end of this. You can find Carolyn on Instagram under Wellness Summit, on Facebook under Wellness Summit as well. Are you on Facebook or LinkedIn? Are you on either one of those?
Women's Wellness Summit.
Okay.
Yep.
And just find her and love on her and allow yourself to be well. It is time. It's your gift. And thanks for being with us today and for being committed to crafting your meaningful life. Namaste.
Crafting a meaningful life.